Hello, I am Stardust the New What Ifer, and this is What If Deku Was Ultimate Being Part 1. Now, I've been off for a while because I've been having, the equivalent of, I forgot what it's called, but it's art authors something. But I just had no ideas, so I couldn't really make the videos that I wanted to make. So, I decided to, you know, make a new one, to make a creative one from the worlds that I do inside of D&D. By the way, if you want to join that, you can join the Discord. It's basically like a what if, except you can control your actual character and you go into a world. So join my Discord. Link will be in the description. And with that said, I guess let's get straight into the video. Now, basically, Azuku would have a terminal illness of sorts. I mean, the illness is caused by his power or his quirk, and his quirk basically gives him the exact same powers as a vampire, except also all the weaknesses, which kind of gives him an illness because of the sun and being constantly exposed to it, even in direct sunlight. So, a lot of people would notice. So, a lot of kids inside of school would be making fun of Azuku. Cause he kind of look edgy. He has like bags under his eyes. Around his eyes are kind of blackish, grayish. On top of that, like he can't really do anything like a vampire except for drink blood because he's out inside the daylight. Now, one day, Bakugo would take this a little bit too far with the bullying, and he would basically explode Izuku's book or notebook. Now, as he explodes, Izuku's notebook, Izuku out of nowhere, which to no one's like from no one knows that Izuku power also brings like anger issues, and it gives him random outbursts of anger out of nowhere. So this will cause Izuku to try and punch Bakugo in the face, and as he does this, Bakugo feels this punch has a little bit of power behind it just from the way that the wind's moving, because like, that punch is bringing some force to it. He can literally see the wind from how much force he's bringing. As he kind of just does an explosion inside of Izuku's face, which kind of causes him to reel back. Now, as this kind of happens, Izuku kind of holding his face, kind of screaming, because, Bakugo basically fucking burnt his face. Like, he is not okay. As, he's screaming. Bakugo kind of freaking out because he didn't expect for his explosion to do that much damage. The thing about Izuku's quirk is that Izuku's quirk kind of, since vampires get weaker inside of actual from sunlight, he was weaker than any normal human would regularly be. Which kind of, caused his face to burn a lot easier from the explosion. Which I don't know how Bakugo's explosions weren't hurting Izuku a lot. But yeah, like, basically he's holding his face and, he's screaming. And Bakugo just kind of runs out the room because he don't really know what to do. So long story short, Bakugo is, brought back by security, and Izuku's taken to the hospital. Now, all that really happens to Bakugo is he has to spend an entire year inside of detention after school, and he has to kind of be on house arrest and do online school because this is technically a federal case because he kind of burned the side of someone's face. So Izuku looking like Toyota right now. Like, did I just say Toyota? Todoroki. I don't know why I said Toyota. But yeah, he looking like Todoroki, as he kind of inside of his bed. And the explosion didn't help inside of any type of way. it actually made his, sickness even worse. So it kind of, his natural healing kind of, happens inside of his room since it's extremely dark. And since he's using extra power, he kind of speeds up the time for his sickness to kind of, take him out. Because, like, his mom knows that it's an illness, but she doesn't know it's that bad to the point where it could actually kill him. She just knows that he's normally sick and, weak. But, yeah, Izuku decides to go on a walk. And, he sees this shooting star. As, he basically wishes, I wish I could become more powerful. More powerful than anybody that I've ever seen. Maybe even more powerful than All Might one day. As, he kind of opens his eyes. As he sees that shooting star is getting awfully close. As, he kind of backing up a little bit. As he notices, that's not a shooting star. Something's actually coming towards him. So at this point, he starts running away. And, as he running away, he getting farther and farther. And he think he's safe. Until he hears this loud noise. It kind of sounds like multiple explosions. But not regular ones. Not like Bagagos. More like explosions so loud it makes his ears bleed. Which is kind of concerning. As he kind of turns back. And as he turns back, everything basically freezes inside of his eyes. This shooting star, it's like it tracked him, as it's directly in his face, and at this point, he sees it coming towards him slowly, but he can't react to it. So, his life kind of flashing before his eyes, because, he thinking he about to die. Because this thing is not only flaming, but it also just fell from space. So, it basically collides with him as it kind of flies straight through his stomach as he kind of falls to the floor. Now, people screaming and everything. People are like, what happened? Where did that come from? Because nobody else was looking up at the sky, surprisingly. Like, everybody else was focusing on what they were doing. But, whilst they're screaming, Izuku, inside of his mind, he's kind of like, looks like my dreams are never going to come true. As, he kind of like, and I was really looking forward to it. I thought I'd be able to find some type of way to fix my sickness. Or at least find someone that can. Like Recovery Girl. Maybe if she healed me one time, that would work. Nah, that sounds stupid. Why am I getting so sleepy? As, he says that. He's like, oh, I'm about to die. This sucks. As he closes his eyes. And then he opens them to see that he's inside of a hospital. As, he checks his stomach. As he sees, there's no scar there. It's completely gone. Like, there's nothing indicating that he was once bleeding except for these bandages on his body. And they're technically not even really bloodied. They kind of look like water went through them. And it kind of like, I forgot the word for it. It kind of got rid of the thickness a little bit. Like, it looks like water was spilt over the bandages. And it slowly drained out a lot of the blood. And now it just has the color. So, he kind of lean up. As to his surprise, he doesn't feel anything. Not any type of pain. Even though, that happened to him. He knows it happened because he's in the hospital. But he kind of questioned himself, like, did I just pass out or hallucinate from my sickness? As, he kind of get up as a nurse walks in. And she kind of drops her tray. She runs outside the room, calling for a doctor, saying the boy woke up. And apparently he's healed. Now, time skip a few hours after all the checkups. The doctors are completely and utterly baffled. They don't know how he healed. All they know is he just all of a sudden was okay. Like nothing happened in the first place, which is extremely odd, seeing that, well, he just had a huge hole inside of his stomach. And it wasn't like the size of his entire stomach, it was like kind of above it, which is kind of, making everybody like realize something here is happening with his powers. Maybe that this space rock kind of, like not necessarily evolutionized, but it fixed his problem. His body forced itself to heal. It also looks like his body's a lot stronger in general because Izuku and the doctors noticed that he has an 8-pack, which comes from a lot of workout. Like a 6-pack is one thing, but he has an 8-pack. As, they kind of confused because they like, not only did he survive actually getting to the hospital, he flatlined multiple times inside of his coma or mini coma, or surgery would be the better word. And then after that happened, he woke up again and was just all of a sudden fixed. The hole was gone. His clothes weren't fixed, but they were like, it's like they never had any burns in the first place. Like something coming from space didn't actually hit him. Something, I guess red hot. Yeah, most definitely red hot. At least there's no signs of anything happening to him except for his shirt and the bandages. So they do more checkups on him. As they basically guessing that he good. They guessing that his quirk must have fixed itself and he might be okay. As they give his mom a card as they like, if anything else weird happens, call me because we don't know what happened here. We can't scientifically like give you a real reason. We would say his powers got forced his body to heal, but it wouldn't make sense why now of all times it would do that. And on top of that, there's not even any scarring. There's no signs of him being hurt. He said he got up completely fine. Nothing. He actually says he doesn't even remember waking up multiple times inside the procedure, which is kind of weird. So, you see anything, call us, because we can't really help you if you don't help us. So, Zuko's mom, she like, alright. They end up leaving. She kind of smiling. Azuka clearing the tears out of her eyes because she thought he was about to die. Last time she saw him, he he was looking like Ace. He had the whole Ace treatment. So she's just glad that he's alive. But dang. But yeah, that's then it. Well, no, I'm gonna add something else in. So she basically says dinner will be ready in a minute. So, she cooking, and he goes up to his room. As he basically laying down inside the bed. As he looks at his hand, as he's like, that was pretty weird. I haven't felt this good in life since I was 7. As he kind of smiles. As he's excited and happy. As he sees a flame light in his hand as he starts screaming, but he notices that it's not hurting. As he then screams, "What the hell?" And that's where I'm gonna end the D&D. I mean, the what if? Sorry, not the D&D. I'm so used to doing D&Ds. I'm glad that I'm back, or somewhat back. I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna fully be back. It's gonna be sometimes. If you lucky, have a nice day. And with that, join the Discord, leave a like or subscribe. Yeah, see ya.